Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another installment of Scott Selections here on Saturday, May 11th. As you can tell by the outfit, I lost a bet. No, actually, it's my graduation today, as I'm finally getting my BA in from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. So hopefully that leads to a lot of open doors in the future. But either or, it's time to dive into the card. We didn't have a play of the day yesterday. We should have, as all of our main leans ended up winning. With the Angels -1.5, the over there pushed. The Red Sox winning handily with the over. That also won. And the over in the Warriors-Rockets game was an easy win. Props to the Warriors for definitely showing up in that game. And if you saw my Twitter, I actually ended up having a play on the Warriors -3.5 before tip-off at roughly plus 345, which was a very nice win. Chris Paul's half-court shot at the end hit front rim, and that would have been an absolutely brutal beat. But it's nice to have one of those bounce our way once in a while. Thanks, Terry. I appreciate it. But I have to wear my graduation's in about an hour and 15. So with that being said, I don't have much time on my hands. I will be diving in, and we will start with the play of the day today. We're going to be looking to baseball, and we're going to be looking at the late game between the Washington Nationals and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Total's at 7. We're not really going to focus on the total, though. We are going to be looking at the Dodgers. They open up at -140. They're down to -128 at Pinnacle, and that is the line that we are going to be using. And the main thing that you have to notice in this matchup is people are going to automatically look to the dog here because of the fact that Scherzer is going up against Buehler, and Schuler is a multiple Cy Young Award winner, and he's been great. But he actually has not been that great this season, and some of that's not even his fault. But his numbers themselves have been definitely nothing like what they usually are. Thanks, Virgie. Thanks, Brad. I appreciate it. But if you actually look at Scherzer's stats, he's 1-4 with a 3.78 ERA, which definitely is not what it usually is. His ERA is not bad, but his 1-4 record is definitely nothing to write home about. And if you actually look at his games against just all the starts that he's had, even in the no decisions, the Nationals are surprisingly 1-7 in Scherzer's 8 starts so far this season. Meanwhile, Buehler is 4-0 with a 4.95 ERA. Yes, the ERA is pretty high, mostly due to a couple of brief outliers for stats, but he's 4-0, still a solid record, and the Dodgers are 5-2 in Buehler's 7 starts. Dodgers are also 6-2 in their last 8, and the Nationals are 1-5 in their last 6. Main reason why I also like the Dodgers here, one is the fact that they're a better team, and they're 16-5 at home. So this team is absolutely tremendous in Los Angeles at Dodger Stadium, and I expect them to continue rolling here while the Nationals continue to struggle. But another reason is the bullpens in this game. Something that happened to Scherzer last start, which is not his fault again. He's actually been pretty solid his last 3 starts. He's gone 7 innings, 2 runs, 7 innings, 3 runs, and 6 innings, 1 run, or 1 earned run, I should say. But overall, if you look at what happens in those games, the last game against the Brewers, he left with a lead, and the next thing you know, the bullpen comes in. They give up 5 runs or so. They give up 4 runs or so, and he ends up getting the loss. They have 3 runs, actually, but either or, you go up in the 7th inning with a 1-run lead, and then you end up giving up 3 runs immediately for the bullpen. Nationals have one of the worst bullpens all of baseball. They're not as bad as the Mets or even the Orioles. Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it. But for that reason, we like the Dodgers in the full game here. If you want to take the first 5, I would not recommend it. Maybe even the run line I wouldn't recommend because Scherzer could definitely pitch a gem here. But Scherzer did not look great early against the Brewers. His pitch count got a little bit high quickly. And if the Dodgers can simply force Scherzer to throw roughly 100 pitches by the 6th inning, then you get 3 innings of Nationals bullpen on the road in Los Angeles. And I think -128 is a solid price for the Dodgers. However, I'm taking that now because of the fact that I won't have time to make a video later. If you were going to take the Dodgers, I would recommend waiting. I expect a decent amount of money to continue flowing in on the Nationals as people will continue to dive into Scherzer as they hope that he will lead them to a nice plus price. But I think the fact that the Dodgers are favored by this much with Scherzer on the mound and the fact that the Nationals, I should say, are 1-7 in Scherzer's 8 starts makes me believe that the Dodgers are definitely the right side, and I think the Dodgers should be able to win this game relatively easily. Now I'm actually going to move on to the only playoff game that's on today, and it's in hockey. We finally have a day off. Thank you, Makara. I appreciate that. But moving on, there are no NBA games today as we will have a Game 7 between the 76ers and the Raptors tomorrow. But today there is the start of the Western Conference Finals between two teams that have a history of losing in tragic fashion, with the St. Louis Blues and the San Jose Sharks. I actually thought about giving this out as a play of the day, but I decided to not do it. I was going to lean to San Jose on the full game money line, open up at minus 135, went down to minus 123 in Pinnacle, mostly minus 125, and the total has stayed steadily at 5.5. In terms of this matchup, I simply think that San Jose, especially with Pavelski back in the lineup as he came back in Game 7 and scored and had an assist in the first period, he's a leader, he's a great player, he's a future Hall of Famer. I just think San Jose is the deeper team. I think St. Louis was definitely fortunate to go up against Dallas, which is a team that has also an issue scoring, and that's something that's plagued St. Louis the entire season. San Jose can score goals in bunches. They have the better offensive core with Hurdle, Couture, all those guys. I just think they're better than – Tarasenko and Jaden Schwartz are a solid tandem, but besides that, I don't think they have much depth, where San Jose does. Plus, St. Louis's power play was absolutely atrocious in the entire series against Dallas, where San Jose, you still have Burns, you still have Carlson on the power play. I expect him to score a couple of goals. Bennington has been the better goalie than Jones, so that's why I'm a little bit skeptical. And St. Louis was actually they were 3-1 against San Jose this season, with one of the wins coming in overtime. So you could disregard that because of the fact that playoff overtime rules are different than regular season overtime rules. But either or, I think San Jose will win this game. I think San Jose is going to win the series. No offense to St. Louis, props to them for being able to make it this far. I just think that San Jose is a different animal, and I think that San Jose is a better team. So I think San Jose will win the series. Thanks, Felix. I appreciate it. Hopefully, it all works out. It's in an hour. The commencement speaker, interesting piece of trivia, is going to be J.J. Watt. So I will actually hear J.J. Watt lecture about his career in Wisconsin, and hopefully he'll provide us with some entertaining material, at least as I sit there for 2 hours, and hopefully it does not rain. But in terms of the actual total in this game, I will lean to the under. Important trend that I have noticed in the matchups here, in the 4 games that St. Louis and San Jose have played, one of the two teams has not scored more than 2 goals in each of those games. So that's just something to keep in mind. It seems like that each of these games are decided pretty handily. So I know that you can't really draw much from the regular season to the playoffs, especially with the way that the Blues were the worst team statistically in hockey for about the first half of the season, and now they're in the semifinals of the entire NHL. But either or, I definitely would lean to the under there. I think this game has 3-2 written all over it, and I would also lean to the Sharks in that one. Other than that, not many thoughts with regard to the rest of the baseball card. I would lean to the Red Sox. The Red Sox are finally over 500. The Mariners have fallen apart. Hernandez is well past his prime. He's been decent this year. Porcello actually turned in a good start in his last start, and I simply think the Red Sox are just too good of a team. Money's come in on Seattle. The Red Sox have gone down from minus 195 to minus 180. I personally don't get it, and I would still take the Red Sox. I don't think it really matters. And the total's difficult because the total's been bet up from 9 all the way to 11. There's not much value on the total now, but Seattle is the number 1 over team in all of baseball. So that's something to keep in mind. Other than that, don't really have many thoughts there. I would lean to the Rockies today. And they've been bet down from minus 135 to minus 126. They've scored 12 runs in each of their last 2 games. And Lucchesi, I don't expect him to do that well here. It's a bad spot against the Rockies and their surging offense. He was great in his only start in his career against Coors Field, where he has a 1-0 record with a 1.5 ERA. But John Gray, he has the ability to get he tends to get roughed up more than he should, considering the fact that he actually has good stuff. Thanks, Don. I appreciate it. But overall, I think that Gray will turn in a good enough start to get the win here. And I would also lean to the Rockies because I think that they're just cooking, and I expect Arenado to potentially go deep today. So that's going to do it for this installment of Scott Selections. Play of the day, as I said before, will be on the Dodgers money line or minus 128 at Pinnacle. And overall, I would wait on taking that for a couple of hours because I expect more public money to come in on Scherzer, as people will look for a small plus dog instead of actually seeing why Scherzer is such a big underdog in the spot. But that's the play of the day, so I might come out with a tennis video later. We shall see. But good luck to all of you and your respective bets today on May 11th. Bye, everybody.